Hello, forensics. This is your first mock crime scene that we'll be completing as a class. This is your end of Unit 2 project. So we will not have a quiz or exam, but instead you will try to solve this mystery. So this past unit, we've been looking at various different types of evidence, big and small, and how to collect them. In this case, you're going to use those skills of looking at that evidence, collecting details in addition to eyewitness and other suspect interviews, and try and piece together to solve the crime. So you're going to start with this doc. There's a lot of information here. And remember, you can always change the zoom to make it easier to read as you're working through. So our mission is to figure out who killed Barry Cuda. This activity is full of puns, so get ready for lots of cheesy puns. We'll go with that. But here's your mission. Here's the backstory, and we have someone who's been killed, and we're going to be collecting information, and our mission is to pull together all the evidence and see if we can solve the case. So on page 3, you have your instructions, and it will take you to the game, but I want you to read through these carefully. I'm not going to go through them all together. The one thing to point out is at the very end, it does give you a link to the solution, so you can check to see if you got it correct. However, you will get 0 credit if you do not do the work of an investigator. So don't just skip to the end. Keep the mystery a mystery until you think you're ready to solve it. So let's go ahead and open up the crime scene. So you're going to click here to take you to the crime scene. And there's going to be a lot of information. Take your time to read through. This is a longer assignment. It is not meant to be rushed through because it is showing all your knowledge that you've gained over the first 2 units, technically. All right, so if we click, we can read through this, but if you click away, you're going to be taken to a crime scene. You might have noticed you can, using the scroll on your computer, you can zoom in and out, or you can use these tools here. So we're all the way zoomed out, but you could zoom in to look at something closer if you really wanted to. And yeah, like we can see there's some blood on this piece of board, right? You can also move down to look, and you may have noticed, oh my gosh, there's someone behind us. So without actually looking around, you might have missed some very important information. You can look up as well to see what it might be above you, and there's some evidence up there too. So that's how you can look up and down. You can look left to right, and oh hey, look, another person to interview, which the first time I played this, did not notice that. And look, we've even got another scene to go look at. You can also, if you click on this button here, do auto rotation, and if you just click play on that and sit back, it will take you around this scene and show you everything possible. You may consider it a little slow. It's totally up to you. You can also click on floor plan and get a picture of what kind of a bird's eye view. It looks like it's not loading, probably because I'm in rotation mode at the same time, of what exists and where different pieces of information are. And so I don't know if you'll find that useful. It's totally up to you. You can expand this to full screen, which will give you a better view. Lots of options down here. I find the rotating actually a little disorienting, so I'm going to turn it off. But you can also just click on the screen and drag around. And so here's a 3rd or 4th location. I think it's a 4th location to investigate. And there's more over here. So here's a couple things to notice. When you hover over a clue, it'll tell you you found a clue. And you can click on that clue and it will bring up some information about it. Just so you know, a red herring is a false lead. And if you're ever interested in the backstory of that, there's totally a whole podcast I could give you. It's quite entertaining, but it's not relevant to class today. So you can also do a quick Google search to see why they call it a red herring if you care. So if you find a red herring, just ignore it and move on. Let's pull up another clue, and here's some important information. So you might want to jot that down on your notes guide and go back. So click to close. You can always go back to the how do I play this game by clicking on this mega fingerprint here, and it will walk you through. I would recommend reading through that first before you get started, actually, to make sure you don't miss anything important. So let's look at the different types of people witnesses you might have, or people evidence. And so here we have a person sitting here, and let's zoom in a little bit. So we have an individual sitting here, and notice you can't click on him. or her. You can't actually access, but what you do get is a comment. And so what this is showing here is this is their statement. Oh goodness, is he dead? I thought he was just asleep. Maybe I should get my eyes tested. This is a clue that this person doesn't have any more information to offer. They simply are just a innocent bystander, so to say, and have no connection to the case. However, if we click on this person here, notice how it's different and it says interrogate me. Okay, let's interrogate, honor, shift. So their names are going to be fun. And essentially, as you click on these questions, they will give you some answers, some more detail, or just a nope, which honestly the nope video gets annoying over and over again, but just you can click out of it as quick as you realize, oh, they're not answering anything. And then you can take yourself back to the alley. And you would want to do that with every person that you see. But here's the most important part. You're going to go back to your Google Doc, and anytime you interview anybody, you are going to record what you learned in this sheet. This is how I know you're doing your detective work. If you come to me with the correct conclusion but have no investigation information, you won't get credit for this assignment. So make sure that you're taking your time to fill this out with detail. This is why I've given you 2 whole school days or class periods worth to work on this. This is not meant to be rushed through, and you should take your time. You will also need to fill out a medical report on the victim. And so as you learn about them more and figure out who has had access and who would be good suspects, you'll start to add to this list as well. Once these 2 are fully complete, then and only then will you fill in the conclusion page. And so there's 3 things you have to include. You have to tell me the motive. You have to tell me how the suspect had an opportunity, how this crime all came together. So give me like the background information that you learned and how they knew, etc. I'm trying not to give anything away, but how they knew the information they did. And then the evidence that supports it. And so this is where, as you are collecting evidence, you're going to want to, on a separate piece of paper, just kind of keep track of that. Notice I only ask you about information you've learned from other people in this crime scene. I don't ask you for information about the evidence. That's you're going to keep on as a separate record, and that's where you will include the evidence here on this conclusion. Once you're fully done, you're going to click on the red herring to find the solution. And so if we go back to our game, the red herring is located back here. You can click on it at any point, but I would highly recommend leaving it till the end. Keep the mystery alive for yourself. And again, no matter what, you have to go through all the evidence to get, and all the suspects, to get the proper conclusion. So you're going to want to probably keep it fun and not jump to the end. All right, so let's take a look at when it can take you into a different location. So if you click on take a look inside, and there are 2 other locations there, notice we've got a whole new room to investigate. And if you spin around, you can notice that you can go back outside. You've got clues. Oh, there's another person that you need to interrogate. And this person doesn't have much more to say. They just thought you should know before the police got here. What do they want you to know? I don't know. You're going to have to do some more investigating. And when you're ready, you can go back outside and it will take you back to the main crime scene. And notice there's a street for you to access, and this will take you out to Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue being not a person, but a location. And I think you can kind of figure out what that location is. All right, I hope that is enough to get you started on this and that you are entertained. This is meant to be kind of a practice run at how you would be a true crime scene investigator and all the pieces involved. If you have questions or if you get stuck, please let me know. I will happily help, and good luck.